Business Owner of the Year, Leanne Chaddock, the car chick. Everybody sort of kind of just looks at her car and knows how cool she is. They listen to her and they know how cool she is. And she is another one of our members who has taken calculated risks, which of course for a race car driver is sort of redundant, but probably needs to be said. She's taken risks with her business, and she's overcome obstacles, not just driving obstacles, but business obstacles, and hit them head on so that she can have a thriving business and a successful business. As a woman in a man's business, some of us are, some of us aren't, Leanne talks to women all the time and they're just like, I can't, I don't even know what I'm about to do, and Leanne takes you through this process that makes it civilized and makes it reasonable so that we can go, and because we can't get here without our cars. I will be brief. Leanne also serves on the NABO board. She gives back to her community, and she's probably the only one in the room that has fireproof underpants on. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the Woman Business Owner of the Year for 2014, Miss Leanne Chaddock.
I wanted to tell you about an experience I had this year. It was truly life-changing. It was one of those aha moments that completely changed the way I approach my business. I realized that running a business is a lot like racing cars. You're gonna fail at least 80% of the time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not successful. So today, I want to share with you a story about how I turned an epic failure into a success. This year, I was recruited to drive for a woman-owned race team for the 24 Hours of Lemons series. Not the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which you may have heard of, but in fact the 24 Hours of Lemons. 24-hour endurance racing for $500 cars. What could possibly go wrong? The first race of the season was held at the beautiful Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama. And everything started out great. The car was running well, our first driver was laying down really solid lap times, and then 90 minutes into the 24-hour race, our engine performed what we like to call a spontaneous high-speed disassembly. The number 4 piston blew a baseball-sized hole out the side of our engine block. Our crew chief took one look at it and said, "We're done." I was devastated. I hadn't even gotten to drive. I was wearing fireproof underwear and I didn't get to drive. Then the entrepreneur in me woke up and said, "Oh, hell no. We are not done. What do we need to do to fix this? Come on, guys, let's start brainstorming. Can we maybe weld beer cans over the hole and plug it? Can we get a new engine? How can we fix this problem? Because we are not going home." So we pulled up the website for the local junkyard on our iPhones, started searching for a replacement engine. We didn't find one that would exactly match our car, but we found one that, well, we thought might possibly work with enough zip ties and duct tape. I mean, what did we have to lose at this point? So we get to the junkyard, we start pulling this engine out of this poor 95 Dodge Neon. We didn't have the right tools. It was taking forever. So I found one of those junkyard guys that wanders around and helps people named Steve. He comes over. He pulls this giant steak knife, like with the wooden handle from Outback Steakhouse, out of his belt. He starts ripping through hoses, ripping through the wiring harness. He had that engine out of that car in 19 minutes flat. He literally saved us hours and hours of work. So we dubbed him Steak Knife Steve. So meanwhile, back at the track, the rest of our team was ripping the blown engine out of our race car, and in the spirit of good PR and marketing, I had made sure that everyone at the track knew that we were not giving up, we were not going home, and that we were going to try and pull off this crazy fix. And so everyone chipped in to help. Even our competitors loaned us an engine hoist, they loaned us tools, they even came over and started turning wrenches with us to try and help us to succeed. And by the next afternoon, we had successfully transplanted the junkyard engine into our race car. It was not an exact fit, and we did in fact have to use quite a few zip ties and a good roll of duct tape. And it had started raining, like monsoon kind of raining. Yeah. So with just 30 minutes left in this 24-hour race, we got the car back together. I got suited up, strapped into the driver's seat, and our crew chief yells, "All right, start her up!" He's a redneck. So I flipped the master power switch, put the clutch in, hit the start button, and nothing. She would not turn over. Really? Gotta be kidding me. So the crew chief says, screw it. He grabs one of our gas cans, pours race fuel directly into the intake manifold, and says, "Try again." So I push the start button, and of course what happens? Whoosh! This giant fireball erupts in our engine bay, and this guy's yelling at me, "Full throttle, full throttle!" So I slam the gas pedal to the floor. It sucks the flames down into the engine, and would you know, the damn thing started up. And all I could think was, I'm the only one wearing fireproof underwear here. So the car is still on fire. And Scott said, "Go, go, get her out on the track, get her out on the track. Don't worry, the rain will put the fire out, just go, go." So here I am, sitting behind the wheel of a race car that is still technically on fire. It is getting so dark because of the storm. It's raining so hard, I can barely see the hood of my own car. And then I realized, I've never driven this track before. We didn't have a practice day. I had no idea where I was going. So driving blind, and from the memory of watching YouTube videos of the track in preparation for the race, I managed to limp that poor race car around for 4 laps, cross the checkered flag to officially finish the race. Woo! We didn't even finish last. But we did win a trophy for our heroic efforts, our heroic fix, and for the best Alabama junkyard name, Steak Knife Steve. It was an incredible experience. And they say that you learn more from your failures than from your successes. And after that, I would have to agree. In 8 years in business, helping women buy cars, and over 25 years racing cars, I have certainly had my share of learning opportunities. But if I had gone to this race and everything had gone as expected, we would have finished probably middle of the pack. Because let's face it, even with a good engine, our car just wasn't that fast. But there would have been no story. There wouldn't have been this incredible lesson. We certainly wouldn't have won a trophy. But instead I got the opportunity of a lifetime. So running a business is a lot like racing cars. It takes courage, tenacity, creativity, and a little dose of crazy. Because you're going to fail 80% of the time. But it's how you face those failures and what you do with that other 20% that defines you and ultimately determines your success. Thank you.